Hey guys, welcome to DevOps School. In this video tutorial, we are going to teach you about Puppet, which is a configuration management tool. After going through this tutorial, I promise you that the concept and understanding of the Puppet will be absolutely clear to you. But before we begin, let me inform you few things about us. DevOps School is one of the leading platforms which offers DevOps, cloud and containers technology training and certification programs for freshers and established professionals who wish to update and consolidate their skills in the dynamic IT scenario. We ensure that the training solutions are delivered by highly experienced domain experts with practical working experience in various verticals. You can join our all training programs globally through online platforms, and if you're looking for classroom workshop, then we have regular batches available in Hyderabad and Bangalore. Check out the dates and enroll with us for our upcoming batches. For more info, link and contact details are mentioned in the description below.
Okay, so this WhatsApp is your client. Whenever you send a message, so say an example, you are sending a message to person A to person B. At that time, what is happening? Let me see where is the controls. So, 1 second, let me check my drive controls. Drive controls are not here. Okay. Let me open my Paint. What is that? Chrome. Okay, so say an example. There is a server. This is the server, and if I want to write, this is a server. Okay. So could be your Linux server. Um, it could be your Windows server, okay, or any other server. And this is your client. Client is your machine where you are trying to connect to this machine. Okay, and we have a single arrow. Okay, we'll take this arrow, and this particular client is connecting to this server. Okay, so this client is going to connect to this server. That is the main purpose of the client and server terminology, where you are having multiple clients which are connecting to the server. So there are basically multiple clients which is connecting to this server. This is also one of the client, and this is also one of the client, and all together are connected to. So this is also connecting to this device, and this is also going to connect to this server. Okay, so you have three clients in my diagram, and these three clients are connecting to this server. Now, say an example, this is Linux box, and this is your laptop, or this could be your desktop or your mobile phone, tablet, and you are connecting to this system. Now, this system is basically needs some configuration change. What is that configuration change? Configuration is changed. Since an example, on all the client machine, I want to install Java. So one way is that what the sysadmin will do. He will go to all these three systems and install the Java. Install the Java manually with some command, or he will write some shell script and install the Java on it. Okay, up till three system it is fine. So there is a concept which we call the configuration management. Okay, so there is a concept which we call the configuration management. So first let us understand what is configuration. So the configuration means any change which is happening on the client machine. So it could be your systems or it could be the machines which is behave like a means their configuration is like a server only, but they are as a client. Now this server is what it wants that all of its clients should have a Java installed on it. So it means you are changing something on the client side. So that is called configuration change. Your server says that there will be some users, a new user, say Puppet user is to be created in all the client machines. So that is again a configuration change. Your server says that there should be a file which is called a status.txt file on all the system, which basically represents that what is the status of a particular software is installed or not. So that is again a configuration change. So whenever on the client side you are doing any configuration change, that is called the configuration management. If it is happening with the help of a software or some automation tool, then this becomes the part of the DevOps, because DevOps means everything is automated. So any changes, any configuration changes happens on the client side with the help of servers, that is called the configuration management or configuration changes. And your uh, server will have a script. So this server will have some code here, say some script, and this script is to be, so one way is that if you need to if it is three system, you can go to each system, install the application, right? Or you you can create a script and run that script on that each and every machine. Up till three system or 20 system, it is fine. But when the number of systems are, say, 1,000 system or 100 system even, then it will be very difficult for a system administrator to install, uninstall. Chances of mistake is more. The reason is because this is a manual process. To get rid of this kind of thing, we need to use a tool, and there are a lot of tools are available. But the most popular one is Puppet, Ansible, and now these days Terraforms, Chef, Salt Stack. So these are some configuration management tools. Everyone understood that what is the purpose of configuration management or configuration management tool? Anyone has any doubt?
No, it is clear.
Okay, okay, great. Okay, so now one second, we go to my Okay, so types of configuration management. So there are two types. One is push based and second is pull based. So what is the meaning of push based? If there is a script and that script always will be on the server side, whether it is pull based or push based, and that script is basically the code which is going to implement on the client side. If server is pushing that code to the client side, it is something like that you on your phone automatic some update comes and it updates your software. That is called the push base, because in push you are not you are giving one time agreement to the server by saying that okay, if there is any update comes to my machine, it does not need any approval from my side. It should be automatically get updated. So such kind of mechanism is called push base. And so in push base mechanism, the server executes the script on client machine. And the example of this is Ansible, Salt Stack. So it is in Ansible we use the SSH communication, or we use the SSH layer to communicate between client and server. In Ansible, basically it is especially I'm talking about Ansible. Ansible is agentless. Means you need not to install any software for the client side. Only the server side can communicate with the client on the basis of SSH layer. Okay, so there is some public and private keys get shared, and these public and private keys are basically the way of communication between the client and server. On the other hand side, which we call the pull based mechanism, in this client executes the script which resides on server. Now, say an example on your WhatsApp. If there is one pop-up come by saying that WhatsApp is to be, you want to upgrade your application, and you say yes. If you say yes, it means after you press yes, then it goes to the server and takes the update. So it means client is saying that I want the update. So such kind of configuration change is called the pull based. And here is the example are Puppet and Chef. Puppet and Chef are the one which very old uh, these configuration management tools. So they are from the beginning of the DevOps. So it was developed somewhere in 2005. Both Chef and Puppet. Okay, so it depends upon your company to company, infrastructure to infrastructure, or requirement to requirement, that which tool you are going to use. If your company demands or your project demands that there is a client side approval is required, so you need to use the pull based mechanism. And if you think that from the server you need to control all the clients, then you can go with the push based. These days, Ansible is growing a lot. Most of the companies, they are basically moving their project to Ansible. Ansible is also a scripting language. It uses a scripting language which we call YAML, Y-A-M-L. Okay, and Puppet and Chef, these are Ruby-based languages, or we write the scripts which is Ruby-based. Okay. Now, let us talk about the what is Puppet. So, Puppet is a configuration management tool, and it is, so if I say what is Puppet, Puppet is configuration management tool, and secondly, it is open source, open source, and it also has the enterprise version. So for enterprise version, you need to pay for that. So it can run on Linux or Unix like system and Windows as well. So there is a Windows version also available, which you can install it for Windows kind of programming. Okay. Now this Puppet is basically produced by the Puppet Labs. So Puppet Labs is a, you can say, the ownership which they have. So Puppet Labs. So Puppet is produced by Puppet Labs, and it was basically founded in 2005 by Luke Canis in 2005, and it is written in Ruby language. So Ruby is a programming language, and it's a freeware software, open source and freeware, and it is under the GPL. GPL is an organization which provides the general public license. So it's a general public license, and uh, now it is under Apache license. So it's a product of the Apache. So the language in which we we write the program of Puppet, we call it uh, Puppet declarative language. We call it Puppet declarative language. We call it uh, domain specific language, which is nothing but the way you are writing the code into the Puppet. Okay. So these are the some points which you need to know about the Puppet. Okay, and Puppet is basically one of the important, or see, in DevOps basically you need to make the things automate, and you are using the tools, whether you are using Puppet, whether you are using Chef, Ansible, or whatever. Your purpose is to make the thing automate. So when you make the things automate, then we basically it does not matter that which tool you are using. So whatever the tool is solving the purpose, that tool is best for your DevOps. So that's why there are a lot of tools. Now you need to decide that which tool I need to pick up. So say an example, if you are saying I need to use a pull based, push based, pull based, whether I need to go with the Puppet or Chef, anyone which is solving your problem. So Puppet is because it's a popular, so that's why it's better to learn Puppet or Ansible. Okay. Now let us see how Puppet works. So there are few terms which we use in the Puppet. One is the manifest. So what is the manifest? It is basically a file which has extension .pp. So pp means the Puppet policy. So what you need to do, basically you need to create a file, and that file has extension .pp. So we write the code into that pp file, and we then what we will do, we basically uh, execute that code. Server will not execute the code. The code will be executed by the client. So there are basically two components in Puppet. So one is Puppet server, where the script is available or resides, and the client. How we create a client? We need to install a software or a we call the Puppet agent. So Puppet agent is nothing but the Puppet client. Okay, which basically asks to execute the script for configuration management. So I'm just writing CM for that. Now the script which I am saying, which is on the server, that script is nothing but your manifest file, which has the extension .pp. So now when server says that okay, let me execute this script, then how server does, there is a concept which we call the factor. So what is factor? Factor is basically wants to know that the script which is to be executed by a client, what is the system information of that, whether this script can run it on the client or not. So that information is discovered by the Puppet server. Okay, so basically what I'm saying here, so Puppet server I'm talking about. Puppet discover the system information via a utility which is called factor, and compiles the Puppet manifest into a system specific catalog. System specific catalog contains containing the resources and resource dependencies, which will be applied against the target system. So basically what I have written here, there is a Puppet server. So now Puppet agent is saying that I want to execute a script. And when you are saying you want to execute a script, then you basically, that Puppet server first check the system information of the client. So that in system information, we can get it through the factor. Okay, so there is a utility which we call factor, and we will see how it works. And then once it gets that information, it creates a document, and that document is nothing but it's a catalog. So in catalog, we are having the information about that system information and resources. Resources means what you want to do, means you want to install a say Apache server, then that information. What are the dependencies? So dependencies in the sense, for Apache server there is a minimal Ubuntu 16 or 14 version should be there. Say an example, right? So it checks. So once that uh, every parameter is verified, then it basically execute that script in onto that server. Okay. So this way, basically, how your Puppet works. Okay. So manifest file, there will be a file, and that file is basically your .pp file, and in that pp file there is a code which we are writing in the DSL language or Ruby language, right? And when the request comes from the nodes or Puppet agent to Puppet master, then Puppet master basically discovers the uh, client's information, system information, and resource and dependencies. And then if he finds that everything is fine, then it executes the script onto the target system. So that is how it works. And that let me talk about the Puppet master a little bit. Puppet master. So Puppet master is a service. So it is basically a Linux service, okay, which runs on the main server, which used to manage the entire clients to deploy, configure, and maintains infrastructure. Okay, so the configuration tools which we use, these two, we call it infrastructure as a code. Means you are maintaining entire infrastructure with your code. So that is called the configuration management. So now configuration in the Puppet, we have the Puppet master, which is basically uh, runs a service, and it is used because it has the script, and there is a connectivity between Puppet agent and Puppet server with the help of a certificate. Okay, so when there is a connectivity established, then it's a duty of the Puppet master to maintain the client. To maintain the client means that if client requests something to deploy or configure, or to make some changes into the configuration, then Puppet master takes that request and execute it. Same way, we have another which is Puppet agent. So Puppet agent is also a service which runs on the service which runs on the client, and the client which sends the request, the catalog, puppet master, and applies it by checking each each uh, resource the catalog defines. Means it will check that the, say an example, client is saying I want to install Java or I want to install Apache server. Then client is basically executing that script, and after execution it checks that whether the resource which I have requested, whether it is installed or not. Anyone has any question on what is Puppet Master, Manifest, Catalog?
So, one question, Raman is said, so Puppet can be used for both pull and push? Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Puppet can be used for both pull and push, right?
No, Puppet is only pull-based mechanism.
Only pull, oh, okay.
Yeah,
So it has to have a client
we need to install Puppet Master
installed.
and Puppet Agent.
Okay.
Anyone else has any question? Okay, so let me proceed then. So there is a Puppet Master, Puppet Agent, and there is a documentation, right? So the documentation means which has your complete information. Say an example, your uh, which has your desired state. Desired state is nothing but what you want to achieve. That is called the desired state. Means what configuration change you want to do. So this is called the desired state. So what is that is called we catalog. So what is catalog? It's a document. It's a document that describes the desired state for one specific server. So what it will have, it has all the resources that needs to be managed, as well as dependency information. Dependencies information. So that is basically what the catalog contains. Okay, so it's basically the whenever you are executing any code, then we need to we need to have a document which basically describes that what are the things on the system information of your client, and also the dependency information. So everything is in the catalog. Okay, so I think it's enough talking. Let us implement it. So for that, for the implementation point of view, we need to have one Puppet master. So our installation will be, I'm going to do it on the Ubuntu system, and I'm going to take Puppet master first. I will install, and then I will install Puppet agent, which is nothing but your client machine, and we will see that are they able to connect or not. Okay, then we will write the script to make the configuration change. So for that you can go to, I think you have my GitHub repository. So under my DevOps notes, there is a Puppet installation file. You can go through that. Right. So first we need to have the machines. So I will go to my AWS and I will create the machine. If you don't have my GitHub repository, let me give it to you on chat window. Okay, where is the chat? Where is the chat window? This new look is different. I'm not sure. I'm not able to type anything. You all have my GitHub repository? If not, then I don't know how to give it to you because this chat window is not working for me. Okay, so first what I will do, I will create the Ubuntu machines. If someone has, can just type it on the chat window. So if, okay, one second, let me get my phone. Okay, so I'm going to create the Ubuntu machines. So I will create, I will take two instances, one for the master and one for the agent. You can create multiple agent also, that will be also fine. Okay, security group, I'm just opening all the traffic. So in all traffic I have given the permission, all the firewalls are opened, and launch it. Okay, so one machine we call it master, and other machine we call agent. You can connect to this machine via PuTTY or whatever PowerShell or some other client, any SSH client. Okay, so I'm going to use git bash. Go to download, right click and git bash here. Okay, so I will take the Puppet master first, click on connect, and I'm taking this string. Okay, so I'll say yes. I'm connecting as a root user, sudo su, and I want to update the repository, apt repository, which is having all the softwares. So second, I want to connect with this system. Okay, so I will go here, right click. Okay, so what I will do, I will change the host name. So to change the host name so that I can easily identify which is Puppet Master and Puppet Slave. So I'll say host name and I will call master. Also I will change /etc/hostname and I will call it master, and I just so you can see now the name of my server is coming as a master, host name is coming as a master. Okay, and same way I will change the host name of this machine. So I will call it host name. I'll call it agent. Okay, and I'll say vi/etc/hostname puppet agent, puppet agent, and I'll call it bash. Okay, so now I have puppet master and puppet agent. Now let us follow the instructions. So we need to follow certain steps to install it. First thing we have already done. So first thing I'm installing on the master. So on master, apt update, which I have done, and wget, if it is not installed on your system, then you can go with the apt install wget. But in my system, it's already installed. Why I'm using wget? Because I need to download this package. Okay, so this is from the Puppet lab. So I will go to my Puppet master and I will paste this and enter. Okay, so the package get downloaded. Now I need to create a package and update my repository. So I will add it into the repository list, and then I will update my repository. Okay, so once it is done, then we need to install the Puppet Master. So apt install Puppet Master. Okay, so it is installed. Next, you need to check whether service is up and running. Okay, so it is running. Now there is some argument is required, which is called the Java argument. It's a part of the master configuration that we need to change it into this file. We need to add that entry into the Puppet Master service. So what I will do, vi, and you need to add this entry. Okay, because we make the change in the service, so we need to restart the service. Systemctl restart Puppet Master. And actually in our case it is not required, but if some port it is looking for a port 8140, if that port is not open, the communication between client and server won't possible. So on server side we need to open this port. So I'm allowing this. Okay, so it is opening the port. Now one more thing I will do. I will change the host name. Host name I have changed. Server name I want to change. So I will go to etc host file, and here what I will do, I will enter its IP address and the IP address of my system. I will take the master IP address, private IP address, which is this, and if I say this IP address is Puppet. Okay, so I'm just giving one, let's say WQ, and also we need to create a on Puppet Master. We need to create a directory. Where is that? So this directory also we need to create where we will write the code. Okay, so I'm done with the server configuration. Those who are doing along with me, if they have any question, any doubt, let me know. Otherwise, so is anyone is doing along with me? So let me go to the client machine now. So we have installed the Puppet master, but now next what we need to do, we need to install the Puppet agent. And to install Puppet agent, we need to execute some set of commands. So Puppet agent, first this we have already done, this is not required. We need to download the package, and this is the same package as master is having. It's the same URL. Then these steps are basically steps. The change happens when you install the service. There we are installing Puppet master service. Here we are going to install Puppet. Okay, we need to do a apt update also. Okay. Now we'll change that. We need to install this. Okay, so this is done. We can see the status. Let us start the service. First, let me just change we need to give a reference that client can connect to the server, but where is that server information? That we can see with we can make the changes into the etc host file. And I will write and I will call it Puppet. Okay, so this is done. Now we will start our service. And we will make it enable as well. Okay, so I think we are done with the slave configuration as well. Now, after doing this, what will happen? Puppet will have a list of certificate, Puppet master. So, if you want to see that, what is that list, you can copy this command. On Puppet master you need to run. So you can see there is a certificate and it is saying agent EC2 internal, which is my agent address, right? And this is the certificate value. Now, if you want to create, so this certificate get created, and this certificate is to be basically this certificate we need to sign it to all my clients, okay, or specific client. So for that you need to run this command, Puppet certification sign all. Means I am writing all, but if you want to give it to a specific one, you need to give that client machine name. Okay, so I'm using this. Okay, so it is saying signing, notice signed certificate request for this, removing file certificate. Okay, so basically now it is signed. So now our master and agent configuration is done. We are done with that configuration. Now basically we have created a uh, infrastructure where there is a master server and there is a agent machine. Anyone has any doubt, any question?
No, it's fine.
Okay, so it is nothing but just you need to follow certain steps, and these steps are basically provided by the Puppet Lab, and we need to just
These are all
follow
still
that
the
step.
installation steps, right? Are these still the
Sorry?
installation? Are these the installation steps
Right. So
which you
these are
do
the
once?
right. One time we need to do. So if you are creating the agent, and you need to create that agent steps on that machine. Either you can write into a script and execute that script, which will do all this activity automatically.
If
You
you
can write
have
the shell
100
script.
agents, you do this individually on each and every agent.
Yes. So whichever system is get connected as a agent, for that we need to install the Puppet agent.
Okay.
So now let us test it whether everything is fine or not. For that, what I will do, I have created one directory here, manifest directory in the master file, in the master server. So I will go to this manifest directory, which is on my master. So I'm on my master. And if I say cd and go to, basically it is etc puppet, and under puppet you have a code, under code we have environment, production, manifest file. So under this directory, this is the fixed directory, so where you are going to write some file, some script which will get executed by the agent machine. So let us write some code. Here I'm writing one file which should have the extension .pp. I'm creating one file, and in this file means I need to write the code. Okay, so uh, basically we start with the node default. Node default is nothing but it indicates that on which node it can execute. So if you say node agent, so it will execute for agent only. If you say node default, it means it will accept the request from all the agents. Means whether it is uh, agent 1, agent 2, agent 3. So if you say node default, node space default, so it means it will accept the request from all the agents. So now the curly braces. So the curly braces is basically indicates the block, and we will discuss about that. But as of now, I am just testing that whether it is working or not. So for that, there is a simple script I am writing, package ensure, and I will explain you what it is. Okay. So I'll go here and and I will paste that code here. Package. So you need to take care that all the brackets which are open should be closed. I'm installing a package which is called Apache 2 instead of Nginx. I'll save it. Okay. And so this is the file basically which I have created. And this file, what it will do, it is having a information which says that package Apache 2 ensure install, means it should be get installed. And for that, now this is on the master server. So if I save this, and if I say I want to execute this, so execution will be done on master machine or slave machine, tell me.
Master.
Slave.
So who will execute it? Is it master or slave?
Oh, master will execute on slave.
Because it's full.
It's pool, so it should be slave.
Yes, so it is pull based. So slave will request to execute the script. Okay, so if master is executing, then it is a push based because master is pushing it. So in that case, you need to use Ansible, salt stack, right? But
Okay.
in the case of Puppet, because there is an agent or chef, in the case of chef also there is an agent. Agent is requesting to execute a script. Okay, so this script I have created on my master machine. Now I want to execute it on my slave machine. Now this is my slave or agent. Now how it will, because I already installed Puppet agent on this. So what you need to write, Puppet. Actually every 30 minutes, this agent machine visit the master machine and checks that is there any update happens to the current script. Means say an example, there is a Apache installed and you did not make any change into your script site.pp file. Then agent goes, if it is going first time, then it will take that script and execute on its system, and it install the Apache on the agent machine. Next time there is no change happened into the script, Puppet agent again visit to after 30 minutes, it visit to the it visit to that particular master machine and checks is there any change happened. If there is any change happen, then it basically updates the change into its machine. But if there is no change happen, then it does not do anything and it just go and come back and then again after 30 minutes. So that 30 minutes where basically we mention it. So that time is basically mentioned in a file, and that file is on the agent machine, which we have vi /etc slash puppet slash puppet.config file. So this is the configuration file which is on the agent machine, which basically decides that uh, it has some configuration basically. So if I go into this, so it has a main and master configuration. Okay, so here basically what I need to write a code for the agent. So if it is nothing mentioned, means every 30 minutes automatically it will go and execute the script. And here basically you need to uh, write a command, run interval, and equals to, if you are saying every 15 minutes, so you say every 15 minutes it is to be executed. If it is every 1 hour, so you can say 1 hour, or 1 minute, you say 1 minute. Okay. So it's up to you how you want to give the value. So if I say 1 minute, so every 1 minute, so 1 minute is not a good time because every 1 minute it will go and check it. So 15 minutes. So now what will happen? Every 15 minutes, it goes to the Puppet Master, and from Puppet Master it will execute the site.pp file script. But I want to see the result immediately. So for that you can run a command, puppet agent -t or -test. Both the commands are same. So I'm writing -t. So now what this command will do? This command will execute the site.pp file, which is on the master machine. Okay, so now I'm running that command. After running this, now it contact to the master machine, check that file site.pp, and it sees that is there any change happens, and now it is saying it has done some change. So what is the change? It has created something and it is saying 10.37 seconds. It has updated the code. So now here, if I say systemctl status Apache 2, so you can see Apache 2 is installed and running. So how it happened? Because I run a command puppet agent -t, and this command is basically go to its server puppet master, and from there it executes the script, which is site.pp script, and whatever the code is written into that, it get executed. What is that code? That we will see, and how to write our own code, what is the syntax and all this, that we will see. So it went to that particular file, and after that it has executed that script, and the result of execution script is that to install Apache 2, and you can see Apache 2 is get installed. Anyone has any question, any doubt?
So Raman, on the server, you have to set up the versions, right? Like how how like who sets up the server? Somebody has to do it, right? Only then when the agent goes and sees, oh, there's an update to the version, and then it will download the latest version. So who updates the version on the server? The admin has to do it,
So
correct?
so actually basically what happens in the real time scenario, so we have the puppet master and agent, so we need not to do anything. So this is the internal structure of the puppet. So there is a catalog get created which has the documentation, and whenever the execution happens, so say an example, client is saying that after 30 minutes it goes and contact to that uh, puppet master for execution of the manifest file, then there is one catalog get created, and that catalog is basically having the complete information. Say an example, Apache is installed or not, what is the configuration of the Apache, so all that thing get compared with the current script, and if that matches, if there is any difference, then it executes the script onto the agent machine. If there is
Okay.
no difference, then it basically does not
Okay.
execute that script.
Okay. So the master gets updated by the versions that are sent by the original application.
Yes, so everything is basically means there is no manual intervention is required. Everything is done automatically with the Puppet.
Okay. So what if there are errors and all? And then somebody has
Yes,
to see logs and all, right, to monitor?
yes. So basically, whenever there is an error, so there are some Puppet configuration. We will see that what are these.
Okay.
Okay. So whenever there is an error, so the error is get reported,
Okay.
and that actually that mostly we create some notification services which
Okay.
automatically since an example you are saying that okay, if the Apache is installed, then there will be a file which is called status.txt file, and write it inside that file Puppet is installed, or say Apache is installed,
Okay.
and someone is to monitor that particular file, and once the file is having this value, then send that notification. That is another script we will write, which is not a part of Puppet, but it's an external program which which could be your monitoring service, which is keep monitoring the file, and
No, no, no.
which could sorry. Okay, so we will see that examples in detail. Okay, so let us see one more example of this. So I can have multiple. So one more resource I'm creating. Here I'm saying I want to create a file which is status.txt, and this status.txt will have the content installed, node, and the mode is equals to 0644. So which is nothing but the permission. So there is a status.txt file get created, and it will have the value which is called, which has the value that's installed, and it has the permission 0644. Zeros means the owner will have read and write permission. 4 means only read permission for others and groups. So let me write this code into my Puppet master, and what I will do, I will modify this file. Okay, so let us see this. Okay, so this command to execute the agent. Okay, so there is some error. What is the error? Syntax error. Okay, so looks like some mistake I have done. So bracket, this bracket is for this. This bracket is okay. So the problem is that everything should be inside node default. Okay, so I'm writing outside of this. So if I remove this bracket, not this bracket, this bracket is closed, this bracket is closed, this bracket is not one extra bracket. Okay, so this is now under temp status.txt file get created. So let me see. and there should be the content as the installed. So if I say cat slash emp slash status.txt, okay, so you can see the content is installed. So first thing which we have written, install, this is checked. Now I want to check the permissions. So the owner should have read and write permission. So you can see owner is having read and write permission. Others are having, or groups or others are having the read permission. So this way basically we are executing the script. Okay. So now here in my Puppet Master, I have, so if you have noticed here, when this command get executed, okay, so it is using the configure environment production, retrieving the plugins, locales, and caching the catalog information, applying the information. So once it is trying to apply, first it will get the information, retrieve all the information. Okay, once all the information is retrieved, then it basically applied. And now you can see, even though I have written the code here for Apache 2 also, to install the Apache 2, but Apache 2 is already installed on the agent machine. So that is why it is not doing anything. It is just saying it is ignoring this particular package, and now it is new change or new configuration change, which uh, which the agent finds that this file does not exist. Okay, and so it is going to execute this. So here you can see, so it is basically defining the file only, and it is not doing anything related to Apache 2 because that service is already installed. And after that, if you want to verify, you can verify that my temp.txt file is created or not. It is created and it is having the value installed, and you can see the permissions with the help of the ls-l/tmp, and here you can see status.txt file, read and write permissions given to the owner, and read permission is given to the others and groups. Okay, so this way basically so far what we have done, we have created uh, master and agent, and we verified that with the help of the agent that uh, how to execute or how to set a particular interval, and that interval you can set it into the configuration Puppet configuration file. At every 15 minutes, 30 minutes, that particular agent to visit the master machine and execute the command. Whereas on the if you want to execute it immediately, then you can run the Puppet agent -t or --test. So if you write this command, Puppet agent -t or -test, so both the commands are same. so here now you can see there is nothing, there is no change happened. The reason is because now the file is also get created and file has the permission. So same thing if I am going to execute again, so it will not give because there is no change, no configuration change. Okay, so what we will do, we will take some 15 minutes break, and after that we will see some programming, some more programs, and I will help you to, you know, how to write the programs, how to write the modules in Puppet. Alright, so we will meet after 15 minutes. Okay everyone, I'm back. So now let us talk about the structure of the code which we are writing in PP. Okay, so I'll go to the master and it is already open. So in site.pp file, so you have seen that node default, which I have already explained you. So node default basically indicates that uh, on which node it will get executed. So if you are specific to a particular node, then you need to give that node uh, name. If you want that every node can execute the script, then you need to use the node default. Then curly braces, and this is the resource type. Okay, so this is the type, this is the title, and this is the argument. So every resource is having a resource type. So say an example, my resource type is here package, and the value or the title is Apache 2. It means I want to install a package and the package value is Apache 2. Ensure installed. So ensure is argument and installed means it's a value of the argument. So from where you get all these things, you can go to the Puppet website. So if you say Puppet resource list, resource types, okay, so you can find that particular list online. Okay, so these all are the resource types. Okay, so like one of them is file, and same way you will find package also, L11 OP, it's alphabetically package, you can see notify. So same way means there are a lot of resources are defined and their values. So that list you can find it from here. Okay, so first thing node default, and then package means your resource type, then the value. Value is nothing but the software which you want to install. So you want to install a software uh, which is called Apache 2. So Apache 2 is a normal, if it is the in Ubuntu it is Apache 2, and uh, if it is Red Hat system, then it is HTTPT. That I want to install. So I'm writing installed. If you want to remove it, then you need to write here. I think the command is purge. Now if I want want to execute this on my agent machine, then I will call this. So now you can see it is burst. So if I say systemctl status Apache 2, so now, okay, so you can see Apache 2 service is not found because it is already removed. So it depends that what value you are passing. Okay, and again that online help is available, whatever the values you want to find it out. And then the ensure, so in same cases here, there is a resource type, and that resource type is, this is the value, it means resource type file, which indicates a file. Okay, and then you can see content equals to whatever the contents it has, and content means the value inside the file, and mode equals to permissions. So here I am defining a resource type as a file. Anyone has any question, any doubt? Okay, so in case if you want to uh, find out what means about a particular resource, so say an example, let's say uh, puppet. So there is a command called puppet resource package. I want to know about all the packages which is installed on my system or not installed. So here, say an example, zip 3.0, this is installed. Let us talk about specific package. So if I say Apache 2, whether Apache 2 is installed on this machine or not. So now it is saying for this machine, the package Apache 2 is burst, means it is not installed. Okay, I think I can run this command on agent also. Okay, so here also you can see. So if it is installed, so let us do one thing. Let's install that. So it is installing Apache 2, and if I say no, you can see now Apache 2 is installed and this version of Apache 2 is installed. When it was not installed, at that time it was saying Puppet resource, it is burst, means it is not installed. Now it is saying it is installed with this version. So this way, if you want to see that what are the resources which is installed, or it basically gives you that in the this language which we are using, this is the DSL, Ruby DSL language, domain specific language. So this way basically you are defining your Puppet files. We will see lot of examples related to this so that you will feel comfortable. In case if you want to do a practice, there is a website which is puppetcookbook.com. So here you can see there are a lot of scripts is available. Okay, and these scripts are basically, say an example, first script if I take, this is install a package, and it is very, in a very structured manner it is explained over here. You can see install a package. Challenge is want to install a package, and solution is class. We will discuss about what is class. For now you can think node default. Okay, package, which package is to install. So this is the code given, and down here they have explained about the what they are doing. Okay, so there is a very good documentation is given. So if you want to practice the Puppet scripts, you can go to this website, and this is the official website of the Puppet. So you will get see how many these are different. So they have mentioned packages, files, host file, execute services. So if you know all these examples, or if you practice all this example, then you will be master in Puppet. Okay, so now let me just talk about something about factor. So factor, I just explain you what is factor. It is basically your system information. It gathers the system information. So what the factor is, that it first of all it get automatically installed with Puppet agent. So with Puppet agent it automatically get installed. And what is the purpose of this? The purpose is used to collect information about the system Puppet agent. So as I explained you earlier, that when the script is getting executed on the client end, then Puppet server first determines or discovers that whether that system is capable to install this software or not. Okay, so that is done with the factor utility. So it is used to collect the information of the Puppet agent, and based upon this information, based upon these facts, basically what it does. So based upon these facts, it takes the this. It means that Puppet master. This is the Puppet manifest. And we basically use the factor, and the factor is having key value pair. So the data is stored in the form of the key value pair. So let us see practically how it is. Okay, so if I go to my agent machine, and if I simply say factor, it gives, see, these key values pair. So there is one key and there is a value in front of that. This is the key, this is the value. So it basically explains complete system information about my uh, Puppet agent. Okay. So if you want to see a particular information, it's like your operating system or about your, if you want the operating system and what family it is, how much RAM, what is the architecture, then you need to write in the factor, you need to search that. So you are saying from here, so factor is giving, so if I say grep OS will not be good. So I say less, let us see. So let's see our operating system related information. Because it is having all the information, so we need to search that. Okay, this is device related information, this is run related information, this is locking information. So I think what we can do, Q to come out, and if I say I believe OS dot family is the, it will tell you which operating system family it belongs to. So it belongs to the Debian family. And if I say I want to see what else in the OS, so I will say this factor OS. So now here you can see this is the architecture of the OS is AMD 64. Okay, and the other information, right, like which ID it has, what is the version, what is the family, hardware, name, what is the release, that all information is printed here in the by using factor. So factor utility is basically used to find that information about your agent. Okay, same command you can write it into your uh, master also. It will give that master information, but we are more interested in to find the factor information about the agent. Okay. Now whenever we are writing this factor information, the purpose is, as I already told you, master gather that information, and on the basis of that it takes the decision that whether that particular resource is to be executed or not on the agent machine. Now, say an example, you want that a particular decision you want to take, okay, on the basis of your machine's information. So if it is Red Hat, then do this. If it is Ubuntu, then do this. So you can create the variables in your code. So I will go to my master, and here I will write some code. So let me write some code. So I'm saying no default. Okay. And there are some functions. So if you want to declare a variable in Puppet, you need to use dollar symbol. An example, I'm saying message. Message is a variable. Now in this message variable, I want to store something. I want to store a value, and that value is is basically there is a inbuilt variable which is called the facts. So it finds the factors of my agent machine. So what factor I want to find out? I want to find out the factor of OS and family. So it means it will go OS dot family, that factor. And I'm saying find the value. So question mark means it basically I'm saying that condition. So I'm saying if it is curly braces, so condition. So I'm saying if it is red hat, so basically what I'm doing, I'm creating a variable and I'm collecting or gathering the information about the OS and the in OS family. And I'm saying if it is red hat, then I want to do I want to post a message by saying that running red hat system. And I'm saying if it is Debian, because our system is Debian, it is Debian, then just write it running the Debian system. Alright. Same way, it is default. It means it's not Red Hat or it's not Debian, then go to default. So default means you are saying running somewhere else. So running somewhere else, comma, and curly braces just to be close. So what this code will do, this code will take a variable message and it will check the fact of the agent family because agent is going to execute it. And if it is red hat, then it will notify this message. If it is Debian, it will notify this message. And if it is something else, then it will notify this message. Okay. And for that, basically we have to print this message, you need to use the notify resource type. And you are saying I want to print message. This is the way that you print the message. And there is a curly braces close for the not default. Let us save this. And now let us execute it. On agent machine, I'm going to execute this. So now you can see the output is that running notification message came as a running the Debian server because it is a Debian machine. That is why it is returning that Debian system. It went there, it execute that script, and after execution of that script, it basically returns that information. And I'm using a simple example, but it could be different. Means you need to take a decision on the basis of which operating system is running and what I need to do. Anyone has any doubt, any question? Okay, fine. So now let us move next topic of Puppet. It is basically full of you can say kind of a programming kind of thing. So you need to use the programming skills little bit, not much, but you need to write some code to make the thing automate, infrastructure automate. So now let us talk about one more concept in the Puppet programming, which is classes. So classes are basically indicates the group of items. Group of item means, in example, you are having some uh, logical steps. For example, you want to install a package, you want to run a service, same package Apache 2 you want to install, and uh, you want to run that Apache service, or you want to copy some file into somewhere, right? So in that case, basically, what do? You uh, you use the concept of class. So class is basically it's a named block which is having the Puppet code. Okay, and in the Puppet cookbook, you can see everything is class. Okay, so here this is not the correct example for the class, but you can see you have created a class screen. So let me do one thing. Let me create a class Apache. So I will go to my master machine, and if I say vi and say site.pp file, let me remove everything. So how you will define the class? So you will define the class. So you define the class with the class keyword and then the class name and then curly braces. Then you are defining the resources. So say an example, you are saying resource, and resource is your type, resource type, and curly braces, and define your resource type. So far I was doing with the node default. Now I am doing with the help of the classes. Okay, so I'm saying class name, resource, and then the resource type. So here uh, we will I will create one example. So let us see what example we can create. We can create Apache itself. So or we will create a user. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a class, and class name I am giving user. Okay. So what I want to do, I want to create a user, okay? And that user name, we can define any username. Okay. So I'm saying this user. So there is a user module. So basically I'm saying user and then curly braces, then the username. Which username you want to create? I'm saying I want to create a test user. Okay, I want to create the test user, and then I need to provide the colon, and then I will use ensure. Ensure mostly we use when you want that ensure present, installed, absent, remove. Okay, and I want it as a present. So classes are nothing but same thing we are writing, but in a structured manner. So I'm saying this, and if you want to give some permission or you want to say that we'll have the home. So what is the home? Home is slash home, say test directory. Okay, so you can put it into a single quote. Okay, so these properties I want to set it for my user. I'm saying ensure present, so it will be get added. And second, home is this. Actually, for home, you need to use one more property, which is manage home entry. Okay, so this thing I want to define all the bracket close. One bracket is less. This bracket bracket. Now, if you want to include this or call this class, how to call it? You will say node default curly bracket, and you need to write the code include and your class name. My class name is user curly bracket. Let me save this. Now I will go to my client machine, and before that, let us see cat slash etc slash password. So there is no test in the end, or you can say password. There is no record. Okay, now by using this, it should get executed, and a new test user should get created. So you can see test user get created, and now if I say why it is not, oh sorry, grep. So you can see there is a test user get created. So this way, basically, we are calling that particular module, and that module is nothing but it is uh, it is uh, having that user resource type, and user resource type is user resource type which is having test user, right? So this way, basically, we call the resource type by using class. Let us take some more example of the classes. So say an example, you want to create a directory. Okay, so you say class, you can give any name. I'm saying directories, and here I'm saying file, and the file is slash tmp slash testing one or test one, and here I'm saying ensure is a directory. So if you write like this, then it means it will create a directory. Okay, and here I will say, or let us do up till here, and then I will, if you want to perform a group of tasks, so say an example, you are saying file and same directory, which is for some other directory. I will create one more directory, say slash tmp slash test2, and colon. After that, I'm saying it should be a directory. So ensure directory, and I want to create the directory with the owner, and here I'm saying root is the owner. Same way I'm saying which group it it belongs to. It belongs to group, and root. Now curly bracket close. Now class bracket close. Now I want to call it. To call it, I will say not default curly bracket, and I will say curly bracket close include, and your class name, which is directories. Save it. So let us execute this. Now you see these two directories get created. If I say ls minus l slash tmp, so you can see there is test1 and test2, and the directory is created. Okay, by default it is root. So you can change it to Ubuntu and you can test it out. So the username will means the owner will be get changed from root to root to Ubuntu. Are you guys understanding the code? Anyone has any doubt, any question? Okay. And as I told you, you can see all the examples here. So like create a directory. So here is the class directories, file this, ensure directory, and here you can see the example of the other one, which is where I'm assigning the owner group. So all the examples are given here. So say an example related to a service. So you want that a service and its service name is cron. That service is to be should be in the running state all the time. Then you will say service, and then curly brace your service name. Here it is cron, but it can be Apache too. It can be anything. And ensure and running. Okay. if you want to remove a file, there is a tidy. So tidy resource type we use to remove the file. So here you can see there is a class, and the class name is class name. You can put any class name, then curly bracket and curly bracket close, and then tidy. So we are using the resource type as a tidy, and which has /tmp install artifact. Okay, so uh, these are the basically this we call the file name. This file name you want to remove it. So simply tidy curly bracket and the file name which get removed. Now this is one way that when you need to write the code by yourself, and or you need to, tomorrow if there is something you need to install a Java, then uh, you are basically having this code which is in the Puppet cookbook is given. You can take that code and you can copy paste that code into your site.pp file, and then you can modify the code according to your requirement. This is the one way. Second is the means you should be expert in writing the Puppet cookbooks. We call it cookbooks. Okay, so the code which we write, it's called the cookbook. So if you are expert, if you are from the programming background, then you probably feel little bit comfortable while writing the code. Now, other way is that if you don't want to write the code but you want to automate the thing, for that there is one basically alternate is available. We will talk about the modules. What is modules? Module in Python is basically not Python. Modules in Puppet. Basically, there is some ready-made code, and this ready-made code is created by someone, and you can use that code and you can make your infrastructure or configuration management without writing any code by yourself, and you can use that code from someone else, means which is created by someone else. So, say an example, there is a website which is called Puppet Forge. Under this Puppet Forge, there are a lot of modules defined. Okay, so this is the website, and in this website, the code which you are looking for, you can search it here. So, as an example, I want to install MySQL. So, I will write in the search MySQL. So, when you search, the best one is the Puppet Labs. Means if you find something from Puppet Lab, that will be good because this is created by the Puppet itself. Okay. So, MySQL. So, if you see here they had given the steps how to install the MySQL by using Puppet Lab. So uh, there is a heading which says manual installation. So it is saying that you need to do the manual, and all these things you need to do it on the master server. So I'm copying this command and I will go to master. I will come out of this. Now here if you say ls, so we have site.pp file. Let me go one step above dot dot. Now if I say ls, so there is a folder which is called manifest. There is no modules folder. Okay. So not necessarily here, anywhere you can write this. You paste that. The command which is manual installation is given. So I copied that command and I just paste it here. Puppet module install Puppet Lab MySQL. Okay, and press enter. Okay, now it is going to that website, downloading the code. So it has installed something. If I say ls now, so you can see there is one more folder get created, which is the modules folder. So if we go to this modules folder, and if you say ls, so there are some files and folders get uh, created. So the folder MySQL, automatically it gets created when I run that Puppet, when I pull that code from the Puppet Forge. Okay, so now it is installed. Now if I say, if I go to cd dot dot cd manifest, and if I say ls, okay, so there is one site.pp file. Okay, site.pp file, and I will go inside this file, site.pp. Okay, and now let us go back to our instruction. And here in the instruction they had given that if you want to use it, you need to write this code. Okay, I will copy this code. Here I will write the code. Okay, if I say node default curly bracket, and I need to copy paste that code. So you just see now this time you are not writing the much code. You are just following the instruction which is given by the website. So you manually you have created as per the instruction the MySQL module, and then as per instruction again you are including that into your node default. Okay, save it. Now if you go to your here Ubuntu, that my client machine, and if I say agent, so before that let me check is there MySQL. If I run, there is no MySQL is installed. Okay, now let me run this Puppet agent test. Now see it is doing something. So it is retrieving the information. Now it is saying it is created MySQL something slash ensure created. Okay, so looks like it is installed. Now if I say MySQL, you can see MySQL is installed. So with the help of modules, it will be very easy. So you need not to write your own code. The code is already written by Puppet Labs or some other users. You just need to follow the instructions and to install that. Anyone has any doubt or any question?
Using this Puppet Forge you mentioned about, is it that all the code, anything we want to install, we would find something here? Or,
Yeah, actually, most of the common things are available here.
okay, yeah.
But if something is customized, then you need to write your own code. So if you see here, if I go to the home, there are, you can see here, 6,322 modules are defined. So say an example, if I want to install Apache, but you need to check. So if you see this MySQL, so it is saying for the Puppet Lab, it is this many downloads happen so far. Okay, quality score is 4 points. So you need to check all these things. And if quality score is less, don't use that. And if the download is also less, then also don't prefer that. It could be the new one. So, say an example, if I say Apache. So Apache Puppet Lab is good. So we need to just click on this. And here is the manual installation. Take that code, install it, and down they had given how to call it, Apache. Now let us do one thing. Let me install Docker. So on my client machine there is no Docker installed. So I want to install Docker by using Puppet modules. So if I go to my agent machine, let me come out of this, exit to come out, and if I say Docker, so if I say Docker hyphen version, so Docker is not installed. Now I want to install the Docker by using this, so let me search a Docker module. Okay, so it is here. Okay, and here you can see manual install. Steps are exactly same for all the modules. You need to copy this and you can paste it here and run it. Now it is downloading from the Forge Puppet and it get downloaded. And if I say cd dot and cd modules, if I say ls, so you can see something related to Docker. So Docker module is installed, and if I say cd dot dot cd manifest, I say ls vi site.pp file, and here if I go there and they are saying how to call it, include Docker we need to write. So I will go here and include Docker. Okay, so now if I go to my agent machine, so now looks like it is doing something. Okay, so looks like it is installed. So if I run this command again, Docker version, so you can see the latest version is get installed. Okay, so means it depends upon your requirement and the modules which is available in the uh, Docker force. So if these modules match with your requirement, then you basically uh, you need not to write much code on this. You just need to uh, you just need to use the manual instructions, and after writing manual instructions, you can basically how to call it. That instruction is also given. Use that and call it. Okay, but again it depends that whether it is 100% matched with your requirement or not. Okay, if it 100% matched, then it is good. Otherwise, you need to write your own custom code. Even though you can change the code which is provided by modules, so you can go to the cd dot dot say cd. So you can see there are some files and folders. So if I go to MySQL, so there are a lot of files and folders get created. So if you understand that code, you can change it as well. So if you go to manifest cd, so here you can see there are a lot of .pp files get created. So you can, you can go to any files like cat, and mostly this code is very complex. It's always preferable that you don't touch it, because Okay, so this code, as the way it is written, it is very complex code, but means it is up to you. Means if you think that you can modify that code and customize according to your requirement, then you can go ahead and change this code and save the changes and call your module through the agent. Okay, so rest of the thing which is related to Puppet, you can walk through this Puppet cookbook. Okay, this Puppet cookbook, and if you think that means while practicing this, if you have any issue, you can contact me, or you can just contact to DevOps support team. They will send that questions to me. Any doubt, any question anyone has? I'm done with the Puppet. Okay, so silence means no question.
No, thank you. It was explicit.
Yeah. You have any question? 1 second. Actually, I don't get you. So is it Julius or Patrick?
Yeah, it's Julius. I'm saying that it was explicit. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you very much for everyone to join.
Thank you
And
too.
we will meet on the next class then.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye. Good night.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed and learned from this video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Want to study further? Subscribe to our paid membership to get a deep dive into each and every topic. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to our DevOps School channel and hit the bell icon to learn more. Keep learning.